Hi again, welcome to another exciting edition of The Belle Show. The Belle Show is a show that we bring to the everyday lady and the man who loves her. We love to bring you topics that will help you become a better you, exciting things that will inform you, that will help you to discover the gold that God has put on the inside of you. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what goals you have set for your life and you are not seeing. I want you to know that this is not your end. There is something that is ahead and in front of you that God wants you to attain onto. And this is a new season, and this season we are still discussing Belle relates relationships from the inside out. What I can do to make me a better person, to make me more relational, to make me, because you know the Bible says that he that must have friends must show himself friendly, and lots of times we just wait for people to do things, but we need to begin to do things as well so that we can be a blessing to the relationships in our lives. And we're still talking love relationships today. We had such an awesome time last week on the show, and my guest is back in the studio with me today. I'm going to go on a short break right now, and when I come back, I will introduce her to you once more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Had a self-esteem problem. I was looking for validation from men, you know, and I even felt sex was going to validate me, you know, so that was how I just got messed up a lot of times. I got heartbroken, PJ, more than 12 times, you know, and ordinarily I know people who have had like 2, 3 and then they're gone, but I just felt that there must be a better plan.
There's something.
There must be a better plan, you know, because when you're a single parent, you're totally different from the average girl or the average guy.
Yeah. You're welcome back. You know, I said earlier on, like we did last week, we're talking about love relationships. It's a very, very important relationship in the life of every one of us. And even though this is supposed to be a blessing to us most of the time, especially for ladies, it has been the cause, number one cause of heartbreaks, of people committing suicide, of shattered dreams, of people not just knowing who they are because they met somebody, they got into a relationship with somebody and their life just ended there. But I mean, it's encouraging to know, it's inspiring to know that you might have been shattered, you might have been battered, you might feel your life is over, but there is still hope for you. Like I said last week, we had on set with us the visionary of Shattered Glass Outreach. She's also an emotions management specialist and also the CEO of Asala Marketing Media Limited. Her name is Mrs. Lara Kudaisi. Emrah, it's so awesome to have you back once again today.
PJ.
Wow,
thank you so much.
Such an amazing time we had last time that we were here. I mean, you're just an inspiration.
Thank you.
I mean, I've had a lot of comments about how people were wowed that, oh, is that a Nollywood story they were hearing, or did it actually happen? Wow. Because, you know, some of the things that happen to us, we feel most of the time that we are alone. And when you are at that point, at that low point, you feel there is no hope. Nobody can understand you. I mean, who do I share this with? Nobody will understand what I'm feeling. But it's so refreshing to know that wherever you are right now, somebody has been there.
Yeah.
And because they have been there, they can offer you hope. They can offer you inspiration. You can get encouragement to know that this is not the end of my life. I can take those shattered glasses, they can come back again, and I can be the person that God wants me to be. Exactly. I mean, just for the sake of those that were in with us last week, give us a brief introduction about yourself.
My name is Lara Kudaisi. I'm an emotion management specialist. I deal with romance, family, and heartbreak issues. And my story, in a nutshell, was that I had a child when I was 19, and then when I was in school, I got heartbroken so many times, you know, by different men. And now I'm married and I have children. So
yeah,
that's
because you know
the story in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, we didn't finish the story last week, and the story is just so intriguing. We might have to, you know, just go back to it. You know what just came to my mind? I'm just thinking, with your permission, we should put this in a movie because it will touch a lot of lives. You know, I've seen that a lot of people can connect. They can, when you're watching something, you can see yourself inside of it.
Yes.
Especially if you know that it is a true life story. So we'll work together on that. And
no problem, PJ. I'm all here
what we come up with. You know,
problem.
You know, it's amazing because you said to us, you know, you actually went back to the club and then you go back to the church and then you felt okay, I have another chance.
Yeah.
I need to start, and I can start again. And then hopefully you had a lot of things that you were looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then something happened again, Lara. Tell us about it.
Yes, I went back to the church and I thought, you know, in the world there are bad guys, you know, devils out there and all of that. So in the church, I felt there were holy people, you know, any guy I meet in the church was going to be a fantastic guy, and, you know, we'll build a happily ever after from there. But how wrong I was, because, you know, I met guys in the church that also broke my heart, and some people have, because of these experiences, now
so the
turned
fact
against
that
the church.
somebody is in the church doesn't mean it's right for you. Somebody needs to
Exactly.
hear that. The fact that this guy comes to church doesn't mean that he's the right guy for you. Doesn't mean that he's going to give you your happily ever after.
Yeah, because some people have used that negative experience and then turned against the church, which is so wrong. Because my pastor would say a church is a hospital. You know, it's for sick people.
Right.
You know, so if you meet with someone and then the person is still receiving treatment, you know, how can the person even help you, you know, when, you know, the person is not even whole already, you know. So that was what I went for. And then we also get deceived by the gifts of the Spirit, the manifestations of the Spirit. You know, then because of my background, I was coming from a very spiritual background that you must manifest, you know, and all of that. So I was looking for a guy who fasts, who prays, you know, who speaks in tongues, you know, and stuff like that. This in turn is very good because they are the gifts of the Spirit, but that's not what qualifies you for heaven.
Definitely.
You know, you need to look for the fruit of the Spirit, which is actually your character.
That's right.
You know, so, but I didn't know all this back then, you know, so I was looking for the gift of the Spirit, and I got in touch or involved with another brother, and, you know, we had already set a date. You know, I felt, wow, fantastic, handsome brother. You know, there was, you know, he's born again, he speaks in tongues, you know, what else could a woman ask for? You know, and then we set the wedding date and all of that. And one of those times again, you know, we had sex, and then I got pregnant again.
Wow.
You know, but then I was more matured, you know, I'd grown in the Spirit, I'd grown, you know, I was ready to take responsibilities for my actions, you know, so, and I told him, yeah, this is what we've done. I'm in the choir, I lead worship, I do all sorts, you're almost a pastor. You know, this is what we do. Let's go to church. Let's own up to our mistakes. Yeah, they'll suspend me 2 years, and at least God will forgive me, and then I can go back to serving him, and then you do the same, we'll do restitution. And but he said, no, I'm not having that. You know, he has this kind of saintly...
That's the soul tendencies. You know, you'll be amazed at times. You know, the Bible says, I found David, a man after my heart.
Yeah.
And then you think back that David, a man after God's heart.
Yeah, after messing up so many times.
Slept with somebody's wife and killed the person.
Exactly.
You know, David did so many things, but God still said, a man after my own heart. What did Saul do? God told Saul, kill all the animals, you know, don't bring anything back. And Saul just felt, well, these animals look good. Let me bring them. At least I want to sacrifice them to God. And God rejected him. And that's when the Bible said obedience is better than sacrifice. Why?
Exactly.
Because God sees the heart. You know, because our heart is important.
Yes.
And you know, I'm glad that I believe a lot of Christians are watching us.
Yeah.
And if you'll be amazed at the kind of issues that we are dealing with in the church. I mean, you will just say, no, you're lying. Because what we do is we don't come to reality. We keep using spirituality to cover our issues, and our issues are our issues because we are human beings.
Exactly.
We have issues to deal with. So if we have issues, you know, I think we said last week that if you need to talk to somebody, you need counseling. That's not the time to be going and doing prayer and fasting. You actually need somebody to help restore your soul that has been shattered. And so if we have issues, you know, the thing is to own up and say, I have an issue, help me.
Yes.
You know, which is really, really profound.
Yeah. You know, so that was just what happened back then. And then this brother came and said, no, I'm not having that. You need to remove this pregnancy. You know, and I was being stubborn about it. You know, I'm not going to, we've sinned once, then let's not add another sin to it. And, you know, but it was very adamant. And then came to me one day, 6 a.m. and said, okay, I've made up my mind. I've made my decision. If you want to keep this baby, then I'm out of this relationship. Our wedding is cancelled. Everything else is cancelled.
You've already set a wedding date.
You know, we've already set a wedding date. You know, our wedding is cancelled and all of that. You know, so that scared me. You know, I already have a daughter outside wedlock. You know, who would have 2 daughters outside wedlock? How many people am I going to explain that to?
That's true.
And you know, so I just that just destabilized me, and I was like, okay. So what do you want? He said, you know what? If you can remove this baby, we'll go on with the wedding. Nobody knows what's wrong. You know, we just go on like that. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I went on with the abortion. And, you know, I was still hurting and all of that, feeling sinful and all of that. And then 7 days afterwards, he came and said, hey, baby, I'm sorry, but we can no longer continue with this relationship. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it was the peak of heartbreaks, you know. You know, because it was more like, you know, somebody deceived somebody, you know, and all of that. So, and
because in all of this, somewhere in your soul, you were looking for acceptance.
Yes.
Somewhere down there, your soul was not whole. You just felt, okay, I need to have a man. I need to get married. I need to do whatever I need to do to just make myself acceptable. And you know, sometimes because you see, like I said last time, you see some traits in some people, and because you don't understand where they are coming from, you start to judge them rather than, you know, identify with them and help them overcome that, because you're just there like, I'm needy, I need somebody, and you know, I can get it, I can do whatever I need to do to get it, but that is actually not the way, you know, to go about it. We need to go on a short break right now. This is really getting interesting, and I know that yokes are being destroyed, burdens are being lifted. God is setting you free. If only you would believe in your heart that doesn't matter what you have been through, Jesus Christ is able to restore you. He's able to bind up your broken heart. He's able to make you whole again. He's able to give you beauty for every ash that has come upon your life. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi there, welcome to another exciting episode of the Belle Show. You're welcome back. This has been one of the most interesting episodes that we've had right here on the Belle Show, because I can sense that God is touching some people. You know, a lot of women carry burdens. A lot of ladies go through stuff that we just keep in our hearts because we don't know who to talk to. We feel we are going to be blamed, we are going to be criticized, and we're just hurting in silence. But I sense that the power of God is reaching out to ladies all over Africa, all over the world tonight, wherever you are watching, and you're being set free. God is restoring you. I mean, Lara, you were saying that even after all of that, because you know, you feel now, okay, now I'm back to church.
Yeah.
God, I left the world. I came back to church. At least let me just have a man that I can trust. I just want to be married. I mean, I'm not expecting that I would. This person is almost a pastor, for crying out loud. I mean, you know, let me just tell you this, my dear sister. The fact that a guy is in the church, the fact that he's active, the fact that he's the prayer band leader, the fact that he's even a pastor doesn't mean he have a relationship with God. If you're considering having a relationship with any guy, the first thing you need to test is his relationship to God. Is his connection with God. Because if he doesn't have a relationship with God, the Bible says God is love. He won't love you. He doesn't know how to love you. But if you can ascertain that this guy actually has a connection with God, then you are good to go. It won't be perfect. The fact that that doesn't mean it will be perfect. But that is like a foundation to set your relationship upon.
Yeah, you're very right. You know, so he broke up with me, and because of the kind of background I was coming from, and you know, I was going to talk about the society. You know, my society had programmed me to think that if you don't have a man, you have a problem. There's something wrong with you. Then I was 30 already at that time, and I wasn't married. You know, it felt like, you know, there must be something wrong with you. You know, my parents, I already had a child. You know, everybody was praying everywhere. You know, it was really a complicated situation. So please, I need you to deprogram. There's something I call emotional deprogramming. You know, we need to deprogram all our upbringing, you know, the faulty ones that are affecting our lives, you know, right now.
You need to format your system.
That the things that are destroying some marriages right now, that are the things that are destroying some relationships, because some people are still running on the program of their father, you know, because I used to say something that if, you know, we have the tendencies of becoming exactly like our parents, except something active is done about it, you know. So that was what led me, because I just felt felt I needed to marry to be validated. I needed to be married to be accepted, you know. So instead of accepting that breakup, I didn't, you know. I went to his house every day, you know. I went back to church, you know, and then I started a 40-day fasting.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, because I felt the devil was taking away my marriage. I wasn't going to tolerate that. You know, I pray in the middle of the night. I strip myself naked. I call his name. You're not going anywhere, you know. And the more I was praying, the more he was planning to get married to somebody else, you know. So it was during this 40-day fast that God spoke to me and said, "You are not going to marry that guy."
Isn't our God just awesome?
He is, you know.
Isn't he amazing? Because, you know, at times we could just be also behave, you know, in some funny way that God will be looking at us, are you serious?
Yeah.
But, you know, in some instances, if God were a man, he would have just be, well, you caught yourself into that mess.
Yes,
so
I will show you, and then you must,
but
you know.
in the middle of our foolishness, he still loves us.
Yes, he does.
He still beckons to us. He still comes and wraps himself around us. He's a God of love.
You know, I didn't know he was trying to rescue me from a disastrous relationship. I really didn't know, you know, but I felt, you know, that is why sometimes when somebody said he's no longer interested, it could be a blessing in disguise. You don't know, you know. So, but anyways, it was during that 40 days fasting that I received that rema that said, you made him your idol, you were not going to marry him, and then he's going to disturb my purpose for your life.
True.
And this is the purpose now, because he didn't accept the fact that I was going to go on TV, go on radio, and then start sharing my story everywhere, you know. So, and then God told me, you need to discover your purpose, pursue it before you get married.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do I do that? How do I share my story? Who's going to marry me? And then he told me, that man that sees all this dirt and then still comes to you, that is your husband. You know, so I went on Facebook July 2012 when my daughter was 10.
Wow.
You know, and then I put our pictures up there. I started sharing my story every day, and then I put the morale underneath it. You know, and you know, the first day I got about 115 comments. Wow. You know, and then I shared it throughout July, and then people were just getting blessed, you know, inboxing me. I did abortion, I don't know how to go about it, this is what I've done, you know, and all of that. And you know, so it was just all through this that I met my husband. I met him doing my purpose, you know. So now my husband encourages me to do anything that has to surround my purpose and make me bless other people, you know. But if I had married somebody else who did not accept I don't know how my life would have been. I'll be miserable. Because if you don't function in your place of purpose, you'll be miserable. That's just the thing. So that's just that story for you know.
Purpose is powerful.
I'm telling you.
Purpose is powerful. And like I love to say, God is a God of purpose.
Yeah.
And it's said in his word that his purpose will he bring to pass.
Exactly.
So if only we can understand that God's purpose is stronger than our own passion.
Yeah.
God's purpose is bigger than your dreams. That aspiration, oh, I want to marry, I want to have this career, I want to do this, God's purpose is stronger. You know, and if we can just submit ourselves and say, God, I submit myself to you. I know you have a purpose for me. He says, I know the plans I have for you. They are plans of good and not of evil, to bring you to your expected end. But a lot of times we struggle. We try to make things happen by ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's because we have not discovered the living water that's supposed to be inside of us. So we are looking out there for things to satisfy us. We are supposed to be looking up to him, who is able to make all things beautiful in our lives. I mean, Lara, we've been so blessed by you coming here, by the courage that you have displayed in sharing your story, because there are millions of destiny that are attached to you. And if you have not heeded the call, if you are not taking the bold step to say, yeah, judge me if you, I mean, I read something somewhere recently that said, judge me if you can. You know that movie, Catch Me If You Can. And it was like, judge me if you can. Yeah, right. Come on, pick up the stone and throw it at me. And let me see if you've never done anything wrong like that. But you know, the purpose is not to endorse sin, but to say it doesn't matter if you fall in that, because we are all human beings, and sometimes we will make mistakes, sometimes we will derail, but that shouldn't be the end. It shouldn't stop us. We should be able to pick ourselves back up and say, God has a purpose for my life, and you know, his grace is always sufficient. It doesn't matter where you have been, it doesn't matter where you are right now. God's grace is being released right now to touch you, to heal you, to equip you, to energize you, to empower you, to move you from where you are to where God intends for you to be. We're going on another break right now. I don't want you to go anywhere, because God is doing something awesome right here on this show today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I am Belle. I'm beautiful. I am Belle. I'm wonderful. I am Belle.
You're welcome back. I'm sure that you have already been blessed by today's episode. We want to take a few questions like we normally do before we round up today. So let's have the questions.
Hi, my name is Jessica. My complaint is that I have been dating a guy for years and we've never been engaged. We recently got together and I suddenly found out that he has been married. Now I am confused. I really don't know what to do.
Wow. Lara, I'll get you to start that off as well.
Well, Jessica, I know what you feel. I know how you feel. It's going to be very distressful, very heartbreaking. But hey, you need to see the blessing in that. Maybe God is trying to save you from something. What if you had gotten married to him and then you discovered later that he's married? That would be worse. How would you live? You know, that might even be more complicated. So I want you to take that as your own shattering experiences. You know, it's painful, but please just stop, dissociate anything you have with him. Stop with that relationship. You get so, and I know God is going to bring your own man. You need to just learn how to heal. You know, healing is very important for you before you go into another one. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I'm so sure of that.
It's important to accept what has happened, because
Yes.
I remember when you were sharing, you talked about denial.
Yeah.
You were in denial for such a long time.
Yeah.
So accept that this has happened and just move on.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very complicated one. Obviously, there's been infidelity. Your husband has a child outside, and both of you have been looking up to God for a child. I mean, again, I remember the words of Pastor Bimbo Dukoya: marriage is two forgivers living together.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes, yes, the Bible gives us permission to divorce in the case of infidelity, in the case of adultery. But the truth of the matter is there's also a place for reconciliation.
Yes.
I mean, you need to weigh it, you need to gauge it. Okay, what are the pros and cons? What do I have to lose? What do I have to gain? Because sometimes we actually do this because of the hurt, because we are hurting, and we can't see beyond that pain and that hurt for that moment. And you know, what's the point of making a permanent decision based on a temporary situation? So I would say to you, my dear sister, it can be painful. It's a huge shock, a huge betrayal. You feel let down, but also I want you to take heart. I want you to just ask for the grace to forgive. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be.
It's not going to be easy, but I believe that the grace of God is going to be sufficient for you, that God will help you. Just say, Lord, help me to forgive. Help me to forgive, because that's what he wants. God always wants for us to reconcile. It doesn't matter what it is. He says, if our brother has hurt us 70 times 7, we should still forgive the person. And even though the circumstances might be very tough, I believe that there's still a possibility for forgiveness. So, I mean, in your heart, begin to look up to God. What I would just say is throw yourself into God more than ever before. You know, ask him to just fill you, to just satisfy you. Spend more time in his presence. Take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Tell him, Lord, today here am I. Fill me with your grace. Give me grace. You know, anytime you feel down, just lock yourself up somewhere and pray, praise, listen to worship music, listen to messages, you know, and make sure that your soul is not crushed, and focus on positive things, because that is important. The more you think about that negative situation, the more suggestions the enemy will bring into you. Focus deliberately on positive things, on God, on your future, on the things you believe God for. And I know that God will give you grace to forgive the man, and God will also give you your own child, because with God, nothing shall be impossible. God is a God of miracles, is a wonderful working Father. I mean, Lara, we've had such an awesome time.
I am so happy to be here, PJ.
You know, thank you for coming to share your story with the whole of Africa. I'm sure millions have just been blessed. They are receiving their miracles today. And you know, if you want to contact Lara, all our details will be scrolling on the screen right now. You know, you might want to have a personal session with her. She will be available to help you from wherever you are right now, you know, to where God intends for you to be. It's not the end. The fact that you've been battered doesn't mean that is the end of your life. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much once again for coming to be a blessing to us today. I'm sure that we will have another opportunity sometime, you know, to bring you again for us to just discuss and
No
share and be a
problem.
blessing to God's people. Wow, that's all we have time for on today's episode of The Belle Show. Remember, if you'd like to connect with me, you can connect with me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can also send me an email if you would love to do that. All my details are on the screen right now. Remember, you are special, you are beautiful because God says so. It doesn't matter who left you. It doesn't matter the guy that said he's not doing again. Is it your maker? Is it your manufacturer? The one that manufactured you. It says you have been fearfully and wonderfully made. It says there is gold inside of you. It says because you have been precious in His sight, He will give men in exchange for your life. In fact, it says He has tattooed you on the palm of His hands. You are special to God. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let any situation tell you otherwise. Affirm yourself. Wake up in the morning and tell yourself you are special. Tell yourself you are beautiful. Tell yourself you are awesome, you are splendid, you are intelligent. Because indeed, that is who you are. I love you. God loves you. Stay beautiful and stay blessed. Until next time, I will come to you again with another exciting episode of The Belle Show. Shalom.